Okay. We got sound, we got audio, we got video, we got the camera working, we got everything working today. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. Now, you're probably wondering, where the hell is Dano Crypto? Because this guy does not look like him at all. Well, I took a picture of myself yesterday, and I realized I looked like the Liver King, so I had to I had to shave it off. But no, every time our beard gets crazy, we like to, kind of get a refresher and remind everyone how handsome I am. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is doing well. We're going to talk about how we are going to create lasting wealth and generational wealth, because I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and he reminded me how 3-4 generations in, the wealth is always gone. The family does something stupid, something is invested in the wrong thing, or it doesn't last that long. It just goes about 3-4 generations in, and then the wealth is gone. Well, how are we going to have lasting wealth? What do we do? Well, you have to put your money in the right things. You have to put them in the things that are going to be around in the future. Real estate is, it used to be real estate. It was gold. It was commodities, precious metals. And now we can see that those things are still heavily manipulated and can inflate in supply and in demand. And because of the nature of how gold is and how they can just mint more gold into the supply, that also isn't a safe haven as well as we thought it would be. Now, what has come into existence that has the lasting power and a capped supply and something that is growing at an exponential rate? Well, you guessed it right, my friends. It's Bitcoin. Now, I would have said crypto, but crypto is a very broad spectrum of things. We have layer ones, we have layer twos, we have proof of work chains, we have proof of consensus, we have proof of BS, I don't know, proof of whatever. But here's the thing, when it gets to Bitcoin, it's very simple. There's a cap supply of 21 million coins. It's backed by a network of miners, which are the nodes that verify the transactions. We have a global network of these nodes, not just by state, not just by country, not just by area. It's the world. So this is very, very interesting. And we're starting to see, and we'll go over some of the metrics of how Bitcoin could be the thing that gives you the lasting generational wealth if you're able to realize it now. But we're going to get into some other things. We're going to get into how different risk profiles are going to serve us here in the short term and also in the long term, and how we can operate in these bull markets and bear markets going into the future. And we're going to get into how the altcoins, we're going to get into how these altcoins, which ones are going to be the ones that we want to be in, and how you're going to identify those. And it's going to be through stablecoin minting. Now, when we talk about stablecoin minting, what do we mean by that? It means that to mint stablecoins, they have to be on a specific chain, whether that be Ethereum, whether that be Binance Smart Chain, whether that be Solana, Sui, Sei, Optimism, Aptos. These are the chains that are in question of whether we want these in our portfolio or not, based on what these institutions are going to use to mint the stables, and what governments, states, all these different things, all these different modalities of where just wealth and liquidity is, what chain is going to be used. Now, recently, we've seen some action in Sei. Sei has actually seen some growth here for specific reasons. Sei token surged 85% as Wyoming Commission selects Sei for stablecoin pilot. So this is an example of how whenever a chain starts to get the attention of minting the stables and say, look, Aptos, we mentioned Aptos. That was another one that I think is getting the attention for the stablecoin minting. This is going to be the key, guys. This is going to be the key. We've been talking about this, that you don't ever think of stable coins as something that you need to be paying attention to, but we really need to pay attention to it, because think about the IPO for Circle. The Circle IPO was at $64. This thing went up 360% like a damn altcoin meme coin. And this was a publicly traded company now that is Circle, that mints USDC. So if you didn't know this, Circle is behind minting the USDC coin, which is the second highest by market cap stablecoin that is flowing through the cryptocurrency ecosystem, second to USDT, which is Tether. Okay. Now, this is crazy. So now the Circle market cap of the actual company has now surpassed the value of the actual stablecoin itself by market cap, which is crazy. So you think about the market cap of USDC right here at $61 billion, it has now surpassed that of the actual stablecoin itself. So now I'm thinking, whoa, okay, we need to start paying attention to the chains that have the most bridged TVL, the highest DeFi 24-hour DEX volume, and also the stablecoin volume. So this is where we need to pay attention to chains that are minting and have a lot of stables on chain. So let's go down this list right now. The highest still being Ethereum, okay? Highest still being Ethereum. Second is Tron, and then third is Binance Smart Chain, and then Solana has, over the past year, has increased their stablecoin value on chain by like 25-30% just in a year, or maybe even more, because when we were looking at a certain chart, we actually had that stables TVL, or the stables value, at like, it was like 1 or 2 billion. So Solana over the past year has added like $9 billion of stables. And then you can see that base is following right along. They're at 4 billion with stables. And then you can see Hyperliquid, $3.7 billion, Arbitrum, $3.3 billion, Polygon, $2.4 billion, Avalanche, $1.3, and then Aptos, $1.2, Sui at $1 billion. And then you can see, Say getting up there, but you can see, look, out of the ones that we just mentioned here, but Hyperliquid in the 1 month change is 21%. But look at Say in the day change, 2%, 7-day change, 15%, and then on the 1 month change here at 16%. Total DeFi TVL increasing, getting close to $1 billion. And then we'll go and rank the TVL now. You can see that these are the chains I think to focus on here. And I'm just saying buy it, but I'm saying at least focus on these chains that are getting that value in it. Like, these are the ones that you want to be paying attention to. Like, I mean, even the bridge TVL for Barachain had a lot of bridged liquidity over from Ethereum, from some of these chains into testing out the protocols and different things on, for instance, like Barachain. Then you have Sonic, which used to be Phantom. So then we have Sonic now getting some traction. The growth over the past month has been a little lackluster. I think people kind of faded off of Sonic a little bit. But I think it will start to get back in the game when you start to notice the 24-hour DEX volume going up. You can see the stables getting up a little bit more. So if that starts to happen, then I think the value in Sonic will start to go up. But where I really want to pay attention to is actually some of the older coins like Polygon, Avalanche, Arbitrum. Arbitrum's not it's not super old. It's not as old as Polygon, but Arbitrum and Aptos came out around the same time, and also Optimism, OpNet, around the same time of those layer 2s for Ethereum. And the reason why these layer 2s are important is because of the transactions per second and also the ability to mint those stables on these particular protocols. And I think the institutions and the TradFi are going to like that juicy yield that they could potentially get from stables on Arbitrum or Tron or Sui, whatever it may be, Polygon. And the TradFi has been great with having 2%, 3%, whatever it is. They've been cool with that. So imagine now they're able to get their hands on 5, 10%, whatever it may be. And then we're going to go into the percentages. If you would have just been buying Bitcoin like Michael Saylor, how you would have just outperformed everything. But that's why we're going to get into different risk profiles of where you could assess your risk. Like, how much risk do you want to take on going into the next couple years of your investment portfolio? So you're going to hold alts. You're going to get exposure into alts, but also you want to have exposure into the things that are generating true percentage yield of gains that outperform the best the best assets in the world. So we're going to show you this. And guys, welcome again. We just want to say hi to everyone who is here. We're streaming on all platforms. We're streaming to let's show you. We're streaming to X, we're streaming to Rumble, we're streaming to YouTube, we're streaming to Twitch, we're streaming everywhere, because that is just what you have to do. Now, I've been battling the algorithm right now. The algorithm has been just it's just been atrocious. I feel like it's like trying to climb a mountain where someone is pouring slippery mud and water and all kinds of stuff on you, and you just keep slipping. But what you have to do is just keep going. You just have to keep going. And the way that you guys help this along is by sharing the channel, sharing this, be evangelistic, hit the like button, and just do your best to share this stuff out to the world. Share it to a friend. If they're not watching any crypto content right now, they need to. I think everyone right now needs to pay attention to crypto. I think everyone will regret not learning about crypto in the next couple of years, because they're going to feel the FOMO like really, really bad. They're going to feel it. Crypto is one of those things now that is going to be a part of everyday life, just like social media and the internet has completely intertwined with everything that we do. It's just part of the default consensus reality here. And so what crypto is going to be doing is getting into every single facet without people even realizing it, because the nature of what it does in a use case is unlimited. Crypto's use case is unlimited. People don't understand this because they think it's just magic internet fake money, but they don't realize that it's the underlying back-end tech that will be used, and you won't realize it. It's just like AWS, Amazon Web Services, and all of the different things that came after that, after the fact, that has made people that knew this a lot of freaking money, because they were like, okay, this is what everyone is going to be using, and they might not even realize it. And then the people that do, they will capitalize on this. This is why we're in crypto. We feel something. Something is happening, and we want to be where the money is. We want to be where the liquidity is, and that's where it's flowing. It's been apparent for the past 4 years, and this is why we're not going anywhere. And this needs to be the most important thing you focus on right now, because what is the things that make wealth? It's not working hard for 70 hours a week and 80 hours a week and blah, blah, and doing that, or doing what the system wants you to do. No, it's investing and learning where the big money goes. Don't let anyone else convince you otherwise. Yes, you have to work hard, but guess what? You need your money to work for you. And how do you do that? You find the best performing assets in the entire world, and you put your money there. That is what the big money is doing. And so once you wrap your head around that, you will make it your mission and your ultimate goal over everything to understand how money works, understand how Bitcoin works, understand how the rich have become richer. How do they become richer? By investing. We have to learn this. It is the most important thing. We have to learn this. Okay, so let's go over some figures here. Let's go over some figures here. And I guess this is a wake up, Suey fam. The Suey pump is back. What would you do if your door opened and this was right in front of you? I don't know. What would you do? Scream in excitement? Okay, so check it out. We're going to compare the average returns of Bitcoin to other high-performing assets, okay? So we used Grok. Shout out to Grok. And so how this methodology is framed out here, we got the time frames, annualized returns for 1 year, okay, 5 year, and a 10-year between 2014 and 2024. So it gives some time frames here. The data sources are the returns are drawn from reliable sources. We got CoinGecko, Visual Capitalist, so we're pulling it from different sources. Assets include the Bitcoin, S&P 500, the NASDAQ, gold, and U.S. large caps, and also bonds. So some of the most highest performing things that you can invest in over the past 10 years. Okay, so Bitcoin's high returns come with significant volatility of that of gold, but which we'll address. So I want to make sure, can everyone still hear and can see and all that stuff? Just want to make sure. To activate chat, please enable channels. I hope I didn't get did I get rug pulled? No, I'm still live. Guys, let me know in the chat. Am I still live? Am I still live? Is everything good? Let me see. I want to make sure that everything is good. And we're going to get into these figures here. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all good. All good? Yeah. Yeah, it's good. All right, so the only thing that's not good is I see that there's 7 people in YouTube, but not everyone has hit the like button. So I'm telling you guys, you don't realize how important the like button is. Why do you think that all the big channels stress at hitting that like button? It's not like we're just saying it for no reason. We are saying it because if you don't hit it and we don't get a certain amount of likes on a video, the video goes nowhere. It literally goes nowhere. And I will prove it by the measure of likes on my videos that if it can cross even 20 likes, it will get 1,000 views guaranteed because of the nature of the likes. That's how it works. The like button is the currency of YouTube. It is so important. It is the lifeblood of a channel's success. When I get a video that gets 50 likes, they finally put it out. They start putting it out there. And it's free to hit the like button. I know I'm entertaining. I know I make you laugh. I know that I probably make you go, wow, this guy. So at least hit the like button for like's sake. And I shaved my face for you so you can actually see it now. Now you should be able to trust me. You should be able to trust me now. I should be more trustworthy, right? I don't look like the liver queen. I was like, yeah, I look like the liver king or the liver queen. I don't know which one, but oh my gosh. Okay, so check it out. Annualized returns comparison. This is how we're going to preserve wealth. Everyone's always looking for the alpha. What's the next 100x? The next 100x is Bitcoin if you're able to hold, damn it. That's what we've been trying to show you guys for this whole entire time. It even took us too damn long to figure it out. We had to get chopped and rocked and buy stupid altcoins and get rug pulled and do all the things. Okay? To lead us to this point. That if I had just bought Bitcoin this entire time, and it's real hard to Clean living's funny. You're funny. She's like, put a big booty Latino on the thumbnail, and then they click, and it's just your mug. No, that is a massive rug pull. That's already happening, across the board. Or whenever I start to see channels bring in their wives or their girlfriends or put the, I'm like, oh yeah, now they're getting desperate. I don't want to get that desperate. I feel like I'm handsome enough. I feel like I'm good looking enough. They'll click. All right. So all jokes aside, here is the 1 year return for 2024. Okay. This is eye opening. This is very eye opening. This is very useful. Everyone's always looking for the alpha. It's as simple as this. It's as simple as this right here. Check it out. We're just going to start with the 1 year return. 129% for Bitcoin. Now S&P 500, 28%. That's not bad. The Nasdaq, 47%. Gold, 32%. US large caps, -14. US bonds, between 5 and 8%. Depending on if it's a 5, 10 year or the 20-year bond, 30-year bond. Real estate down 3%. Microsoft stock down 30%. Amazon stock down 40%. The 5-year return between 2020 and 2024, an average of 155%. S&P 500 is 15%, net down 15%. Nasdaq down 20, gold 7% from 2020 to 2024. US large caps -14, US bonds -5, real estate -3 still. Real estate across the board, you can see, and especially if you bought at high points where the demand was high but the supply was low. And you paid and overpaid about $100,000 to $150,000 for your property 3 years ago. And now, people are going to try and get their money back and might even be at a loss because they took on debt. The real estate market in certain times and points of these, especially through 2020, 2024, a disaster. Could have been a massive disaster for you if you didn't make the right moves. A lot of counterparty risk, lots of risk in real estate that no one will tell you about. They say, buy a home, go into debt for a 45, 65 year mortgage with taxes that will go up every year. Also, it's, oh my gosh. So real estate is very, very tricky. Unless you are making an actual capitalized return of more than 20%, it's not worth it. Because then at the end of the day, you're just going to break even and also probably hemorrhage money if you are not getting enough, especially if it's an investment property. All right, so then you have to think Microsoft stock is, okay, -30. Now, it's gotten a little better over the past through 2024, 2020 and 2024, still down -25%. Amazon stock, same deal, got a little bit better, but not as good. So as you can see here, the top 2 performing assets across the board has been Bitcoin, and over time through the volatility has been gold. But now what we're seeing, because of the nature of how they can manipulate the gold market as well, gold is being sold now because it's been on a 10-year rally. Like if you think about it, gold has been on a massive cup and handle breakout pattern, and we'll show you the chart now. Now we'll go to the chart. You look at metals, you look at gold, this is the short-term time frame, and we'll show you how it's actually consolidating and why gold is consolidating, how it's hit this top at 3,400. We called this price on gold months ago, because we were looking at this pattern and we started to see something. You look at gold on the weekly here, and you can see how gold broke out of the cup and handle pattern and successfully broke out in the depth of the cup out of the handle to our exact target. Now, we drew this target when gold was right here in 2024. I can't remember exactly when we did it, but we drew this pattern and said, oh, damn, this thing is gold's going to break out. We have the dollar, the Dixie going down. That signifies that the strength of the dollar, no one wants to be in the dollar. And then the bonds were the bond yield being so high, everything was lining up that this would happen. So now what we're seeing is Bitcoin is in that same pattern, and it still hasn't successfully done the breakout of the depth of the cup just yet. But the depth of the cup breakout is at $150,000 per Bitcoin, which is kind of where we're headed in the short term here. So you can see the bleed out with gold is going somewhere. Where is it going? It's going into Bitcoin. But gold has been on this run since 2008. Since the bottoming of the financial crash in 2008, this is where it's been headed. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's the same. And I use the futures chart. You use Bitcoin the same. It's been doing the same thing. Look at this cup and handle pattern and look at where the target is. 160,000 of the depth of the cup. This is just exchange manipulation, keeping us from blasting off into freaking Valhalla, because they know that the supply is starting to shrink because more people are accumulating. So then their supply that they have, the only way that they can manipulate the price now is they have to sell it in $1 million clips and then buy back $1 million clips in the range. This is why Bitcoin has been doing what it's doing. This is why Ethereum's been doing what it's doing. This is why Solana has been doing what it's doing. But eventually, they can only do it for so long. They can only do it for so long until it pops. And this is where I think it's going to be popping here soon. Once they can't stop the train. You know, they can stop the train for a little bit by doing their wash trading, and then it's liftoff. So if Bitcoin has been this dominant, nothing has been able to outperform it. Gold's kind of gotten close, but still annual returns over the past 10 years has completely outpaced everything else. And if that is the case of the tokenomics of the Bitcoin supply and the demand continuing to rise, then it's basic economics of supply and demand. And we've been learning this now really well with looking at the housing market, because the housing market acts exactly the same as Bitcoin does in terms of supply and demand. But it's just like, it's interesting to see how whenever the supply of all the houses start to increase and then the demand fluctuates where there's high demand or low demand, and that dictates the entire market of what the house is going to eventually be worth and also sold for. Bitcoin has this interesting thing where the supply is the same. Like you can't make any more, but what happens with the supply is that it goes down because people are accumulating it like crazy. So then the supply keeps going like this in terms of the exchanges. Supply doesn't have as much Bitcoin, and people are storing it, cold storage, more so now than ever before because they're wanting to hold it for a more long-term wealth generation prospect. So then demand goes up and supply is going down. So what does that mean? It means $1 million per coin in the future, and probably a lot higher. That does not mean it's not going to go like this. It's not going to go like this. We see the chart. We know the volatility. But it's volatility to the upside. That's the risk you need to take to not then have them. Because the whole point of this, why am I talking about this? Why does this matter? Because did you know that the U.S. government by the Federal Reserve, they print money. That money is only backed by the trust of these treasuries and the bonds, and hopefully that we're not going to default on the debt, or we have other currencies that are connected to the dollar. But at the end of the day, all central banks print money and they inflate, and the inflation rate is higher than anything that you are going to be able to do to gain in terms of savings, in terms of dividend. If it ain't past 20% on the year, you are losing all of the value of your money per the inflation, because that is what has been happening over the past 10 years. It's been happening really as at an astronomical rate of the past 4 years, because everything went up triple, quadruple in price. And also, yes, I forgot to mention, Emmanuel, good point, backed by the military-industrial complex. So the only thing that saves the dollar from it being absolutely freaking worthless is that what they do is when they print all that money, a big chunk of it goes into military defense and secret government projects. We all know this to be true. That's why when Donald Rumsfeld came up to the podium and said, we don't know where $1.2 trillion went. We don't know where it went. Yes, you know where it went. It went to all the secret programs that were funding. You're not gonna tell the people, yeah, it went to HARP, and it went to all these defense contracts. They're gonna tell you that, just gonna be like, we don't know where the hell it went. So if there's no accountability and there's no actual auditing of the government, we're not really auditing. You think they're auditing Fort Knox? Absolutely not. That's why you say, I am not going to trust them at all. What can I trust? The blockchain. What can I trust? The Bitcoin ledger. Because from Genesis block 1, you can't double spend. You can't recreate a block. You can't redo a transaction. You can't roll back the blockchain to fix something because something. No, it just keeps going. That's it. It's a blockchain from block 1 to now. And it's backed by code and computers that operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there's no government that has, quote, control whether the network stays on or not. It's participation that continues this anomaly, which is the Bitcoin network. So when you start to analyze everything and realize that everything is rigged besides Bitcoin's code, then that is how you find the value proposition to keep your wealth. The experiments have already been made. The scientific process and the scientific method of testing if Bitcoin is that thing has already been tested. Look at the people that have done it and used it to their advantage when they knew that there was nothing else to do. Michael Saylor is a perfect example. He said, I was in a pit of despair. I was in a complete mess, disaster, and thought I was going to completely fail and let all my shareholders down and my company was going to go under. And then he discovered it. Didn't know if it was going to be the thing, but then the scientific method put into place is that you actually test it. You do it. You have to actually go through the process. And with that, look at how Michael Saylor has basically become the voice of Bitcoin, and for having a Bitcoin strategy in place, because at the end of the day, when someone like Michael Saylor has done the research and done the work and said, there's no other way that it could have been done to truly save his company, and he was on this type of frame, on that type of scale, what makes you think it couldn't do that for you on the small scale? We're all being convinced right now that Bitcoin's too expensive and that we shouldn't be paying attention to it. Like, oh, we're priced out of it. Like, what do you mean we're priced out of it? So this is why I have a channel. This is why I have this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I feel like if I can convince the people that have not taken the time to do the research and look what's happening right in front of our eyes, and have them go into crypto in a completely different type of mindset besides it being magic internet money, or that it's too risky. You know what's risky? Not doing your research and investing at all. That's more risky than investing in crypto. You are at a massive risk if you are not learning about crypto right now. This is why I have a channel, because I know that there are going to be thousands and thousands of people that are going to be coming to the internet and coming to YouTube and coming to a channel, and they're going to need to know what to do, because they're going to feel like they're like, I have no choice. So do it now. Don't do it when you feel like you're FOMOing. Do it now. However you need to get there. So this is why I have a channel. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I feel passionate about it, and I'm not just coming on here just to run my mouth. I feel like I want to build a platform where people can finally start to think, like, how do I create lasting wealth? I'm thinking about how I can create lasting wealth for my family. And I think I found it. I think I'm in the right place. I think I'm in the right place. I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to take the risk. At a point, you stop asking questions and you just act. You can ask questions for years and never actually go into the thing that you're asking the question about, because you don't have the risk profile or the gusto to do it. You just keep asking questions into a hole until it's already you're like, the opportunity was right there. Get the curiosity, ask questions, but then at a point, you got to just act. You'll figure it out. Your questions will be answered by your actions, because then you tried it. It's just like when people talk themselves out of Bitcoin, and I'm like, did you download a wallet? Did you test it out at all? Or you just keep talking about it too much? I could use the analogy of like how someone learning how to skate. It's like you could talk about doing a kickflip all day and ask questions. Well, if I slide my foot up and angle it at a certain way, then it'll flip. I don't know. Go do it. Do the kickflip. That's the problem, I think, with a lot of people. So they're just like, they'll talk themselves completely out of actually just like testing the thing. Test it. If the people of the world in America, all these people that are questioning crypto, just have you downloaded the wallet? Download the wallet, buy 10, 15 bucks of Bitcoin and send it to a friend. Better yet, send it to them in the middle of the night. test it that it is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Create your own coin and send it to your friend. That's what I've done. I created my own coin called Bean Coin, and I've sent it to a friend. Action. You got to test it. Yeah, because guess what? If you tried the kickflip, you might bust your ankle. People are afraid of banging their ankle or getting a little beat up, and it's like, we know in this life that if you don't take risks, nothing will happen for you. You will be just stalemated, frozen. The ice that you need to take, the risk is the ice pick, because if you don't take the risks, everything's a risk. Having a family is a risk. Having a child is a risk, a massive responsibility. Getting a pet is a responsibility. In a certain type of risk. Everything's a risk. You go out and drive to your job. That is a risk. You're putting your life on the line just driving to your job. Everything's a risk. But what's the reward? What's the reward? So the risk in the of doing all this stuff. Well, okay. Well, what's the reward? Well, for the family aspect, love, compassion, the friendship, the relationship, the everything that comes into having a family, all of those things, building something, feelings you've never felt before, joy, all the stuff that is the reward. You have to take a risk. So that's what I think we're trying to convey here, Action in taking the risk, but what's the reward? Is the risk to reward ratio worth taking the risk? And then, like I said, assessing if being in crypto or not being in crypto, what's more risky, not investing or investing? I would 100% say that it's way more risky not investing at all. You want to stay flatlined and exactly the same and have no growth? Don't invest. But know that is the result. You're actually more at risk. So let's go. Let's assess the risk. Let's assess the risk and know that it's way more risky to not be investing and not be in crypto than it is to be here with me right now. We hope you guys have been enjoying the live stream so far. Because, Bitcoin is the long-term prospect, and this is where we're going to get now into the altcoins. So, like we said, not every altcoin is going to perform well. Not every altcoin is going to be like the hitter. How do you find the ones that are going to be the hitters? The undervalued ones. I think the stable coins and the DeFi action, like you go by DeFi action, are the exchanges buying up a lot of the supply as well? Why would an exchange buy up a massive supply of a particular coin? Well, they want to make money on it, and they want to service the customers, which is we are the customers. What coins are they buying up and signaling that those are the coins that we should be buying as well? Well, they've been buying the crap ton out of Pepe. They've been probably scooping up tons of Solana too. But a lot of them have been buying up these meme coins. That's what's hilarious. So where do we get more Bitcoin and more crypto? This is how we're going to get it. Through the alts, through the meme coins. And we still stay on chain. We don't off-ramp off into fiat. Like there's a strategy here. So what's the strategy? We know that Bitcoin has become the crypto store of value, but now the world's store of value because fiat currency is dying. We know this to be true. Everything is going to be then pegged to a digital dollar, a stable coin that is then backed algorithmically by some other, by the algorithm, an algorithmic stable coin, or it's going to be backed by gold and Bitcoin. And backed by probably a basket of assets. Emmanuel asked, what would happen if you got all your trades right? Would you be scared? No, I'd be so happy, man. I think I get like half my trades right. You know, I do have pretty good calls and good entries, but my issue is that I think I'm sometimes an ADHD mess, and I overdo stuff where I could just like make my good trade, dot trade for a few days, then go back in and let myself cool off because I get a little excitable. And that's actually the best thing that you can do for yourself is figure out what you do, how are you reacting, and how are you handling these situations, and you figure out a lot about yourself. And then you can say, okay, that's how I've been acting. Okay, maybe make a little bit of an adjustment. Don't be so excitable. If you make a good win, literally take the entire rest of the day off or the next day off too, because you're more likely to go into trades that are from an excitable energy, and it usually doesn't play out very well. So to answer your question, Emmanuel, that's how I'm assessing that. All right. So here's the strategy. Your goal: find the coins that are going to be outperforming Bitcoin right now in the short term. Once you're able to capitalize and take some profits and you've made some gains, what are you going to put it into? You can take profits into stables, and then, okay, so in those stable coins, what chain and protocol is going to be offering a stable, safe yield? Not everything is going to be 100% safe, and also having some of your coins in a certain type of protocol doesn't mean that it's you're guaranteed that you can even get it out. So you have to make sure that whenever we go through these periods where we want to take some profits, you're going to take profits into stables and then continue to earn some yield. And then going through that, we figure out, okay, well then those protocols that are being the choice of institutions to earn yield, and they think it's safe, and the institutions, they're really doing the research on where they want to hold millions of dollars and earn yield. For instance, World Liberty Financial, you can see that they have most of their stuff is now staked with Aave, I think. Yeah. So they have, so they're using Aave as their go-to protocol to stake their Ethereum, their USDC, their wrapped Bitcoin, and their wrapped Ethereum. They have most of all of that staked right now because of the nature of the market. How much ETH did they leave on the table to not stake? Well, they pretty much staked all of it. They only left $52,000 worth of ETH, 21 ETH, not staked. Everything else is staked. So what you could be doing is exactly the same thing as what these people are doing on a smaller scale. So you have your basket of vaults, and then you also have stables where you have them in protocols and earning yield, so that no matter what, you are generating more than 20% on the year. Because this is how you have to figure it. If you're not creating more than 20% of a return on your investment for the year, then inflation just ate up your value. So you have to think about in terms of that. Am I over 20%? If you're not, your goal is to get over 20%. Because they will tell you that the dollar's only inflating by 2 or 4% or whatever it is, or inflation's like 2%. It's bullshit. It's 10% or more. Because of the hyper nature of how fast it's happened, they probably haven't even begun to really give us the true number of how we've been screwed. And it's only going to get worse. So what do? This is what you have to do. You have to have your stuff in risk assets and also be generating yield and having your money work for you. So that is I think the ultimate goal here is like wealth preservation. How are we going to every single year continue to grow the account and figure out ways where we can generate yield, but then also how to help and consult other people that have a lot more money than we do, and they're not even in crypto yet, and they want to get a little bit of risk, and they want to earn some yield. Or they want to get into certain investments to where they feel like they can get a decent return. Well, I would show them this. I would say, look, here's Bitcoin over the year, on the 5-year and on the 10-year, compared to the highest performing assets in the world. And then show them the nature and explain to them what a stable coin is and where stable coins have to be minted, because they don't even understand what a stable coin is. They're going to go, what's a stable coin? I'm going to say, well, it's a digital dollar that's ratioed 1-to-1 to a dollar, but sometimes backed by other assets and commodities like gold and Bitcoin and treasuries. So this is what I would be explaining to people, and how that would lead them into researching different other chains like Tron, Binance, Smart Chain, Solana, Base, Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche, Aptos, whatever. And then that can get them to start to think and open up their risk profile to then go, okay, well, do these have a token? Yes, they do. If stables are going to be minted and more value is coming in and TVL is increasing on these particular coins, does that leave room for these to increase over time? Yes, it does. Now the risk is opening up. Now the diversification is opening up. Now some people might be like, no, I don't want to go that route. I just want to invest in Bitcoin. I'll hold some stables and earn some yield. And that's cool, because if you have millions of dollars and you can put $1 million into a stablecoin yield bearing protocol, I mean, you could do, you don't even have to invest into these altcoins at all, because you're just earning yield from the cash that you already have and just making it work for you. And do the same thing with Bitcoin. So it all depends on how much money you have and how much risk you're willing to take on. So this is what we're thinking about, and how we can help people and educate people that aren't in crypto at all, and how they can start getting exposure into it. I know I've been boring you guys. I think YouTube has been, it's been a love-hate relationship with YouTube, I tell you what. But I really appreciate you guys coming in. Shout out to Emmanuel. Shout out to Not Me, Not You, But Who. Shout out to Don Cabrera. Shout out to Clean Living. Shout out to Hyro, Tony Trump, John 316. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Shout out to all the people that are watching on X. Now, the X algorithm is where it's at. See, all it takes is one person to repost and hit that heart button, and then finally it starts to lift off. And a lot of the times, all it takes is some of these Sprotos. I love, and man, James Morlight's been so friendly. He has been He has been super bullish and evangelistic on the channel. And if you guys didn't see the interview that I did with James Morelight, the ambassador of the ticker Bitcoin Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 new community, it's a really good interview. We get into the weeds. We get into kind of the ethos of memes and how the communities are even created, and what's the difference between like a solid community and a good meme and a bad meme. Like, what's the difference? How can you tell if something has lasting power or it can be a multi-cycle coin? It's actually a great conversation. So check it out. I think it's in the interview section. Go to the channel real quick. We're going to have him back on hopefully soon. I'd love to just, in general, have a bunch of people from the Ticker Bitcoin community to come on. Maybe we should do like a spaces and then like a live spaces. Like, I'll have it on YouTube and then we'll do a spaces and we'll get all the usual suspects in the spaces and we'll have it be streaming live on YouTube, but then having it as a spaces on X. Let's get that going. Should definitely do that in the future here. All right, so let's go to playlist. I think I have it in the interviews, crypto interviews. Did I put it in there? Did I not put it in there? That's so crazy. I live stream Monday through Friday, so there is a lot of live streams there because we did it live. Let's see. Just type in more light. There it is. This was 4 months ago. Feels like forever. Feels like forever ago. All right, so let's share this in the chat. So that is the link to watch this interview. We chatted for about an hour and a half, kind of got into all kinds of different topics and stuff. So check that out if you missed it, if you missed that one. But that one was fun. And we want to get more people on the channel. Like I said, we definitely love collaborating. We love talking to other people in the space. We've done some stuff with Carl from the Moon. We've done some stuff with Randy Hipper, Miss Teen Crypto. Not teen anymore, so just straight Randy. But we've been watching Randy Hipper since she was a teen and was making content way back in 2021. So that's why we always give pay homage to Randy Hipper, because she was one of the first channels that we saw that she was just super bullish on crypto and also really pushing hard for crypto education for younger people and for people in high school and just to get her, her generation to start thinking about finance, to start thinking about money, because it's one of the most important things that you can learn as a teenager. They don't teach us this stuff for a reason. You know why? Because the deep state and the systematic claws are real. And if the system doesn't have pawns to use to keep the system going, then it doesn't work. So massive programming, manipulation, and systematic approaches are put on us very early on as kids, and there's a reason why they don't teach us certain things. They don't want your mind to be completely blown open, when you're primed to be like, yeah, I'm not going to trust the system now. I'm not going to go into debt. I'm not going to get a mortgage. I'm going to buckle down and go ham on and learning about investing and learning about the charts and learning about how money is made. They're not gonna want you to do that. You become too powerful. It's the honest truth. You become a little too powerful. You become someone like Randy Hipper, teaching this stuff to young people to start then empowering them to learn about this system that's pretty heavily manipulated. So that's what we're inspired to do as well, because we feel really passionate about it. We know the game is rigged and that it has a game that has to be played, and that also in the matrix, which we are in, is programmable. You are programmable, which means if you don't start installing the programs yourself, the system's going to install the program, and guess what? It's a damn Trojan horse, and it's going to wreck you. So install the right program. You are the architect that can be installing these programs, and you can be the operator. And this is what we're starting to find out. Once you realize this, then things will start to change massively. It all starts with the money. It all starts with the money. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise, but if you ain't got your money right, nothing ain't right. Why do you think Kanye said, la, 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 wait till I get my money right? Because when you do, things start to change. And you realize that that system that had you, they try and get you back. All the attacks start coming. You become too powerful. Yeah. All jokes aside, we like supporting people who are spreading the gospel, the Bitcoin gospel. All right. Anything else? Anything else pressing here in terms of the news? Let's see. Let's see if we got any major notifications here. Anything crazy? Oh, okay. Here we go. Congress is holding a second UFO disclosure hearing. Okay. And we got Chill Guy. We got Chill Guy on the Karate Combat. Oh, this is a Karate Combat intern. Okay. Oh, let's see. Okay, 6 minutes ago, President Trump and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have reportedly agreed in principle to end the Gaza war within 2 weeks and to expand the Abraham Accords, according to Israel Hayom. Okay. All right, so tensions are starting to ease up a little bit, And now Trump is to appear on Fox News Sunday morning, network says. So, I wonder what kind of appearance that's going to be. What he's going to be talking about. Oh, okay, yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, so this is Coinbase announces BTC and ETH perpetual futures launching July 21st. So this is a Coinbase. So note, Coinbase perpetual futures trading is leveraging DEBIT official infrastructure following Coinbase's acquisition of DEBIT for $2.9 billion in May 2025. So the acquisition details: Coinbase acquired. Okay, so I didn't know this. Okay, so Coinbase acquired. So this is what's happening, guys. Crypto companies are starting to merge with publicly traded companies. So these publicly traded companies' stock is now soaring and looking like altcoins. So this is another way we could start diversifying into the stock market and thinking, okay, well, where is the money going to be really made in the stock market and be rigged and, whatever, rigged to the upside? Who cares if it's rigged? We know it's rigged, but can you get on the right side of the rig? It's what we kind of have to do here. It's just how you have to play the game, baby. Because everywhere there's money to be made, they're rigging the shit out of it. Just know that. So Coinbase perpetual futures acquisition details: Coinbase acquires DEBIT, a leading crypto options derivatives platform that enhances derivatives offerings. DEBIT's platform complements Coinbase's existing perpetuals futures business, which had a daily trading volume of approximately 10 billion as of May 8th, 2025. You can see integration. Coinbase now uses the DEBIT's technology to support its perpetual futures trading alongside spot, futures, and options. So if we look at this DEBIT, so DEBIT official leading cryptocurrency options. So yeah, this is just another example of Coinbase kind of they're coming in hot. We're not a big fan of Coinbase in terms of their actual application. Like Coinbase's app is really honestly it's the worst. It's the worst one out of all crypto apps. They're one of the biggest companies in the world for crypto, but they have the worst app. And I think everyone across the board consensus can agree with me that Coinbase has the worst application in all of crypto. And it's amazing because they have the highest fees. If you wanted to transfer in or cash out or put $1,000 into USDC, do you know how much they charge you? Like 4.5% or 5%. It's an astronomical. So then you end up with like $900, and they just took $100, almost $100 of your money just because you wanted to go into USDC. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. So it's amazing that they've been able to generate so much money from the fees, but they don't make their app any better. It's just terrible. And the customer service, they outsource it. And the fact that they outsourced it got them hacked and exploited everyone's information because they're so money hungry and too cheap to pay for customer service in the United States. So cool, Coinbase, you've acquired this, but why don't you make your platform actually better so people don't complain and freeze accounts? Because that is the case with Coinbase. That's why it's actually we've actually favored using exchanges like OURBIT, because that's actually less likely to happen with something like OURBIT than it is with Coinbase. You usually get better support with exchanges like this than you do with Coinbase. We've just noticed this over time. Have you had similar experiences where you're like, wow, like this smaller exchange, I've actually had better experiences than these $1 trillion, big companies, these big apps? The big app that I actually like and the company that I actually like and support is Crypto.com. Crypto.com, the app sometimes can be a little clunky. I'll be honest. It can be kind of a little clunky, be a little laggy because they've added a lot of stuff. But it was the only platform that didn't go down during all of the craziness, during all of the capitulations, during all the BS that we had to deal with over 2022 and 2023. Crypto.com, it was the strongest one. Hands down, it was one of the only ones that didn't have massive baggage on it. That's why we kept it in our area. We've kind of, we're like, look, we'll pay attention to Crypto.com because it was actually able to sustain and not go belly up like a lot of other exchanges did. And so, and the partnerships with FIFA, like all the stuff that they're doing, like getting involved with sports betting, they're really accessing the retail market the way that Coinbase wish they could. Because Coinbase, they'll release these commercials and Coinbase will pay millions of dollars for a commercial and it doesn't show anything about crypto for people to learn about crypto and know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm like, guys, no one knows about crypto. What are you doing releasing these commercials? No one knows what you're even saying. No one knows what the hell it is. You have to like just get people on the app in the way that they understand. People are betting on sports and prediction markets. That's what is hot right now. Prediction markets, betting, sports betting, and knowing, and then getting access to actual real world assets and stocks all on one app. Super app. This is what X is trying to do. X is trying to be a super app where it's got chat, job listings, spaces, posts, news, video, streaming, X payments. It's all one thing. So if a company is doing this and they're going in that direction, then it's okay. All right, I'm going to pay attention to it. Have you guys thought about that? That's what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, I've been thinking about how all the people that I know that aren't in crypto or don't buy crypto, they sports bet and they're prediction marketing. That's what they like to do. And so I'm thinking, how do I onboard the masses? Well, I show them Crypto.com because it's got sports betting. It's got prediction markets. It's got stocks. You can hold cash. You can use it as a bank account. It teaches people how to use networks. Teaches people how to send transactions back and forth. How do you actually get people to start using crypto without having to give them a bunch of jargon? That's how you do it. So I would never send a new person to Coinbase because they'll fucking quit crypto immediately. I'm going to send them to something like crypto.com, or I'm going to send them to, OURBIT, because it's the easiest to get into, of just like, the dexes and the degeneracy of the memes. Easily navigatable, great first entry into an exchange that has spot, futures, and all that stuff. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. I've been thinking about that. What about you guys? What about you? You have to think about how do you get people to stop asking so many questions. Like I said, you can get people I've experienced this when I've talked about Bitcoin to people who want to talk themselves into a hole. They keep asking the wrong questions. They ask too many questions. They ask the wrong questions. And someone would say, well, there's no wrong questions. Well, yes, there are. God, people are so annoying sometimes. And it's just like, you gotta just ask the right questions. Oh, you did, Emmanuel? Oh, nice. I will tell you, Emmanuel, I've been surprised that not a lot of people have signed up with the PHEMEX link. I have a whitelisted account where you don't have to KYC. It's like you can 100% sign up. You don't have to KYC. You don't have to use, I don't even think you have to use a VPN. You don't have to do any of that. And they actually have I've enjoyed PHEMEX. I really have. They have all of the same, all the kind of features that you would want. And I've been genuinely surprised that I haven't got a crazy crap ton of signups. But I really appreciate you signing up. Do you like it? Because this is the thing. I encourage people to test everything. Don't marry an exchange. Don't marry a thing. Test it. Like, I have tested all this stuff for the past 3 years now. And so the reason why I end up wanting to promote something is because I've tested all the stuff. I know what works. I know what is clunky. I know what is just not good, in my personal opinion. So if you trust my opinion, if I'm promoting something or I'm showing you something, it's because I have used it consistently and have had good support. And it's just been a great platform. So, but I always go off of what are people actually using? What have they signed up for the most? What link has been getting more signups? And then that's when I get my answer as to which one I'm going to double down on. And so, because I like to be transparent with you guys, and it's great that I'm like this, because then I'm not bullshitting you. I'm telling you the truth. I've had quadruple the amount of signups on OURBIT that I've had with any other signup link. Any of them. Any of them that I've promoted, I've pushed them, I've made videos, I've done all this stuff, and the one that's been the most that people have actually clicked on and actually have signed up and have deposited and traded and actually have used it has been OURBIT. So for me, that tells me something. That's called product testing. That's called metrics. So I look at that. I pay attention to those things. And so for me, that signals, well, people are liking OURBIT. They're actually really liking it. And so that's why I've been very interested in trying to get a little bit more, involved with what they're doing, because of that fact. Very simple. Very simple. Emmanuel is used. So, and here's the reason why I have PHEMEX is because I do like the platform and I like trading on it, but you can do inverse perpetuals on here. So not a lot of exchanges have inverse perpetuals. It's only like the big ones. It's only like the bigger, higher liquidity exchanges, kind of like Binance or Bybit. I'm not sure if what other exchanges have inverse perpetuals? It's not very many. It's not very many. Because in order to do the inverse perpetuals, the exchange has to have a lot of Bitcoin. They have to have a lot of ETH. They have to have a lot of that coin, because once you're in profit, they got to pay you. They got to pay you the Bitcoin. So they have to have Bitcoin on reserve to be able to pay you the Bitcoin whenever it's paid out. That's what the inverse perpetual is. So whenever you put in the inverse perpetual, for instance, like you go to CoinM perpetuals, and you're going to get a list of coins, if it'll show it to me. Bitcoin, Sol, ETH, XRP, SUI, ADA, Link, AVAX. So PHEMEX has to hold a lot of those tokens on reserve to then be able to provide the thing. That leads me to circling back to why exchanges are buying so many meme coins and why they're scooping up things like Ticker Bitcoin, why Ticker Bitcoin has been getting a lot of those really high value exchange listings. Same with Pepe. These exchanges are buying up those meme coins and supplies and buying up like 2%, 3% of the supply because they are ready for the euphoria. They're getting ready to supply the community with what they want. At least that's my thought. That's my theory. Because why would they be buying up so much of these memes? All right, guys. I was trying a different chat. This is the old school World of Warcraft chat visual. All right, let's see what's happening with Bitcoin. Here you can see the cup and handle pattern. We're still, guys, I mean, we've showed you this. We haven't showed this chart in a while, but it's still a valid chart. You know, the measured moves of the banana zone bull run is still in play. Remember, they're all the same length. They're the same length. We're halfway through. Okay? We're halfway through. We still have some time to go. From this point to here was 448 days. 448 days. So from this halving, we're going to go $440 something days. All right. We're at the point from the halving where we are 448 days out, but we've seen the biggest runs on average 500 days after the halving. 500 average days after the Bitcoin halving is where you get the craziest run. Where does that lead us from where we're at right now? Well, let's go from the halving point and go 500 days out. We'll go from the bottom here, 500 days out. That leads us here in September this year. I think that is a pretty good price prediction for Bitcoin going into the rest of the year. I'm not sure if it's going to happen at the end of September, but that's been my call. That's been my call all year, is that we will be going to $150,000 in September based on math, based on just previous cycles of the halving and the liquidity coming in and the average returns on a 4-year Bitcoin cycle brings us to that price. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? I'm telling you, all 4 of you, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're here, because if it wasn't for you, literally YouTube would just be like not even putting me out in the search at all. I mean, they're not at all. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. There is no way. But I really appreciate you guys coming in, because even all 4 of you, you are going to help push through. You're helping me push through. I appreciate it. Because there's no way. There's no way. Why did I shave? To Shipman, to show people how handsome I am. That's why I shaved. That's what I'm going to tell people all day. Why'd you shave, bro? Because so you can see how fucking cute I am, man. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Yeah, YouTube, what are you doing? Like, really, honestly. Like, what are you doing, YouTube? What is your agenda of literally like lowballing channels like mine? I don't get it. Like, we come here every day. We're here every day on YouTube. We use the platform. We stream on the platform. And they're just like, nope, we ain't putting you in the search. We're going to break through it, though. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. God is my witness. We'll freaking figure out the YouTube algorithm. Because there's channels that started the same time that we did. Same time. We're putting the same content out. Right, so similar. And very similar numbers, talking about the same stuff. And for some reason, those channels got like quadruple the market share of viewers and likes and all of that than mine did. Which leads me to believe that it's not a matter of my content or me. You could think that, but it's not. That's BS to think that it's me. It's the algorithm. I'm being shadow banned. And Music Miracles, you are right. That's what I'm saying. I think, literally, we are being targeted. There is a targeted effort to literally blackball crypto streams and crypto content on YouTube. Now, X is a different story. That's where crypto is. That's where the crypto attention is on X. But YouTube, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you trying to sabotage, the people that do live streams on a daily basis? But the thing is, Shipman, they're going to be... It happened in 2021. You guys gotta remember, the influx of people coming in and why, BitBoy's channel had 6,000 people watching his channel, his live streams, is because there was a bunch of newbies coming in to try and figure out what the hell was going on. So this is why I have to, as I'm complaining, I know I'm complaining, but I have a right to complain. But through the complaining, I'm trudging through, and I'm going to turn my complaints into action. I show up every day. I'm here talking. I'm here bringing the news, talking about the charts, giving my opinions and thesis. Whatever it is, I'm providing value. But people are going to come in, and they're going to need channels to watch. And this is why I will not give up on having a live stream platform and a channel for people to come to. And you guys have to show them that you're here too. You're part of the community, and you're here for the long run. You might be here for the Dano crypto crash out, but it's not happening today. But yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, even the well, here's the thing. I mean, to be honest, I mean, like, who knows how many of the viewers that people are even getting are real viewers? Like, the reason why I think that all 6 of you, you're real. There's no bots in this stream, and there's no bot views or bot, fake numbers. So, that's actually happening too. It's just like Instagram. Like, if you know the game in Instagram and all that, like, you can buy followers. You can buy all of it. You can even do this with a meme coin where you can fabricate the transactions in the fake volume. So there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there of actually what is even real and what's not, and the true growth of what a real channel looks like. Well, it's mine. If you want to see real growth, this is real, true, non-bot, non-fabricated. This is real. This is what it takes to build something from the freaking ground up without taking shortcuts. Oh, all right. All right, let's check the charts. Let's check the charts. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, Monero. Monero looking like it wants to test into. If you're looking at Monero right now, you might be one of the smartest people in crypto. No one's paying attention to Monero, whilst everyone's paying attention to Ethereum, Bitcoin, all these other coins. And Monero is going to be probably the place where big money is going to be parking some of their returns and their gains, because they want privacy. They want to be able to be on a chain or something that they can filter into from Bitcoin. Might be Monero. That might be actually the spot where people park it. Per the top all-time high trend line here, could be looking at like an $800, $900 Monero coming into after the altcoin season. So you can see here, altcoin season 2021 right here, $500 from $30. Bottomed out, nice support here at $100 right there. So yeah, keep your eyes on Monero. Keep your eyes also on the ETH BTC chart. You actually want to have a full list of BTC ratioed coins. You want to have ETH BTC, you want to have Sol BTC, you want to have XRP BTC, and you want to have ADA BTC and Link BTC, because guess what? This is how you're going to know if your altcoin is trash. Here you go. Cardano against Bitcoin, trash. XRP against Bitcoin, trash. Sol against Bitcoin, little better, but still kind of garbage. ETH BTC, Starting to do something. Starting to do something here. It's getting a recovery. But if you look at against data, oh, ouch. That doesn't look good. And as you can see, when XRP took that massive, look at that massive plunge of ratio to XRP into Bitcoin. I think the only altcoin that is going to, in terms of this list right here, that will actually recover its ratio is ETH. That's the only one, I think. And it's the one we need, the recovery. Because then guess what? Your meme bag and your altcoin bag are going to be partying. You're going to be partying. Now, I think for the rest of this year and going into quarter 1 and 2, I think the most high-performing coins are going to be the obvious ones. I think it's going to be Shiba Inu. I think it's going to be Pudgy Penguins. Pudgy Penguins has literally just dominated IP. No one's going to get a better IP than Pudgy Penguins now at this point. Good luck. There are competitors, but literally, like IP-wise, Pengu is just taking over. They're just taking over. You just see this damn penguin everywhere. And that's how you have to do it. It's called mindshare. My friend talked to me about this. He owns a TV station, like channels and a whole full station, and he's been doing advertising and knows about this stuff, and he's been doing it for years. And he said the way you get into people's minds, they have to see something 10, 15, 20, hundreds of times in different scenarios where they didn't want to see it or they did want to see it or they're interrupted by it. But no matter what, this is what big companies have done for years and years. Coca-Cola, like all those the companies that spent millions and millions of dollars on the psychology on how to get into people's minds. Pengu is doing this right now. The meme coins in general are great at doing this. You see something enough, you end up talking about it, you end up actually pulling the trigger. So Pengu is definitely going to be one of those things you want to pay attention to. SHIB, because of the nature of how well it did the last cycle and how many millionaires it made, and was actually a pretty decent competitor, or trying to get up into the level of Dogecoin, did pretty well. You got Pepe and you have Doge. Doge is on a 10-year cycle, a 7-10-year cycle against Bitcoin. If you look at it on a zoomed out portion, an $80 billion Dogecoin is not far off the table. A $40 billion Pepe is not far off the table. A few $billion just for Pengu is on the table. Do you know why? Because there's literally an NFT Pengu ETF on the pipe coming down the line, where it'll be the first ever of its kind in an NFT meme coin ETF. So it's going to get a little crazy. That's just a few. But you guys know what I think is going to perform well over the next couple of years. Multi-cycle coins that have really loud communities and they're very delusional. That's how you win. Loud communities of holders that are delusional and they wear the brand and they don't even get paid to do so. That's how you build a mega brand. All right. Now that I've yapped enough, I will see you guys on the next live stream. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Hope you have enjoyed the live streams so far. And if you haven't, well, go somewhere else. No, you can no, you can always tell me, if you have your thoughts, like you should do this more. Maybe you shouldn't talk about that. Maybe you should just like change your voice. Like you shouldn't sound the way you sound. Cool, you can tell me. I'm up for any oh my gosh. I'm up for any advice. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good rest of the day. If you want to contact me, best way to contact me is through X. I will answer DMs, but I will know immediately if you're a scammer. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at recognizing if you are a complete scammer. So beware. But if you want to contact me, check me out at Dano Crypto 904. See, look, that's how I looked. That's how I felt like I looked. I felt like I looked like a washed Liver King Morad character with my beard. So I had to change that. I don't think I look too bad. But yeah, if you want to contact me on here. I will answer. All right, someone, Emmanuel wants to check the bubbles real quick. Okay, we'll check the bubbles. We'll check the 5 minute. All right, we got. Well, let's check the 15 minute. Okay, you were just mentioning syrup. I remember. Yeah, the syrup protocol. Maple Finance. That's what it is. Maple Finance on the month up 47%. That's doing really well. And I think, was it Maple Finance they got listed on a major exchange is why they pumped. Maple Finance I think was listed on Binance is what happened there, and that got a nice little pump. SPX also got listed on Binance. That gave it a nice little monthly pump as well, 29%. We've seen what else is the Aptos that was getting some growth definitely on the week. Say was a good monthly 13%, or sorry, actually I was gonna say on the weekly 39%. Yeah, it went up really well, and because of the nature of the stablecoin stuff, which was right here. Key factors driving the growth is the recent announcement by Wyoming Stablecoin Commission. So remember, these states are going to be minting these stables, and they're going to have all this transaction throughput with all the stablecoin and the TVL. Remember, TVL on the platform has reached approximately 564 million, with 418 million of this amount sitting on Yay Finance money market. In the last 7 days, Say has been the fourth largest chain by net inflows with 4.9 million in new funds. So pretty interesting. And then say again, like Say, Sui, Aptos, Arbitrum, all those things. These are chains that, with that TVL increasing, with the stables increasing, it's kind of like a company. You get more people buying your stock, and then also your revenue's good, and you're generating revenue, your stock will then go up, So this is kind of what I'm thinking about with chains like this, like still Polygon, Eye on the radar on Polygon, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Aptos, Sui, and Say, Solana, Tron, Ethereum. I think Ethereum is still look, Ethereum and stables, 126 billion. There is going to be just a substantial amount of stables still be minted on Ethereum through these institutions. It's going to be wild. This is where I think Ethereum will get to 10K through the ETF inflows, and also with the stablecoin minting, because they're probably going to pick Ethereum regardless of the option of being able to pick layer 2s. They'll pick the layer 2s, but still I think Ethereum is going to be the top choice. All right, that's all I got. My friends. Thank you for coming in. Make sure you check all the links in the description. Real quick, we will show you the links that we have. And we have here, we'll like our own stream. We had to like our own stream to get it to 10 likes, man. What the hell? What in the hell? All right, so we got OURBIT right here. You get massive, juicy bonus with OURBIT and PHEMEX. And also, if you want a decentralized DEX option, we do have Apex. You can check that out. And if you want to get exposure into crypto.com, like we were talking about, with all of the different services with the sports betting, the prediction markets, the stocks, the cash that you can hold, the banking, the crypto debit cards, won't you consider using my referral? Because you actually get $20 in Bitcoin. You get free Bitcoin by using the app. So check that out, and check out the website, danocrypto.com. And we really appreciate you guys coming in today and chatting with me and getting into the weeds with these cryptocurrency ecosystems. With that being said, God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
hposni.com.
Ticker